70-20. They put up 70 points. They put up more points on Sunday than 18 teams have scored all season long. The Broncos, you went out and you got the Randy Gregory's of the world. You have Patrick Surtain on that defense. And then you bring in Sean Payton. How do you give up 70 points? And I get, oh, well, they have Tyreek Hill and they got all this talent and they're fast and all that shit. But 70 points. That's embarrassing. And that's like, this is a Broncos team that, you know, there was minimal expectations, I felt like, for this year. Like, okay, maybe they can piece it together. Right now, it's been an absolute disaster. And arguably, it's been a bigger disaster than last year, if that's even possible. The only difference is that they can kind of score now, but their defense couldn't stop a Pop Warner team at this point. Yeah. It's embarrassing. And, you know, like, I just don't know how they can bounce back from this. They face the Bears next week. You'd like to think they can beat the Bears, but if they can't, woof. This team, they should, like, Sean Payton should just step away. He can go back on the herd and do what he does best, but this is an absolute just pathetic game by the Broncos. And then for the Dolphins, proving to themselves why they should be the best team in football right now.
Yeah.
If not them, the 49ers, but they're right there together.
Yeah, they're right there together. And the most impressive part was no Jalen Waddle on this team. Like, this is absolutely insane. I was like, if the Miami Dolphins can get some semblance of a run game going, they're going to be impossible to stop. And they got Raheem Mostert and Devon A-Train like going. It's like, if you watch The Boys, the fast guy absolutely running through people on the street. Well, Devon A-Train was on the field running through Broncos on the field left and right. They had two rushers, absolutely dynamic. It reminded me of how the 49ers kind of had that circle of running backs that they would cycle through before they got Christian McCaffrey and really found a bell cow on that team. But they got a run game going. Tua looked dynamic, and then Mike White comes in the game, looks good, and then they were scoring with their backups with ease. And then I saw the Broncos. I'm like, okay, you lost 2 games at home. Can't imagine that's gonna build when you go to Miami. I was like, I think Tyreek Hill is still gonna be enough to win versus the Broncos. Pick the Dolphins in that game. And it's like, yeah, how are you, Sean Payton, gonna come in to this situation, talk shit about what happened last year? You'll be like, yeah, I don't know what they were doing last year with the coaching, taking shots at Nathaniel Hackett. You know what they weren't doing? Giving up 70 points. And Sean Payton comes in there and he's like, okay, if we were the 20th ranked scoring team or even 25th ranked scoring team last year, we would have made the playoffs. This will be an easy fix. I can fix Russell Wilson. No, you can't, because Russell Wilson was bad his last 2 years in Seattle, and then they trade him to Denver because they saw that, didn't want to pay him. He goes to Denver. It's just not it. I get you score 20 points, and like, that's decent if you're an NFL team, if you're the Patriots or the Giants, but 20 points to a Sean Payton-led offense. This is your first road game. Your defense is supposed to be the staple, and then Mike McDaniels is in the stands talking to fans with his playbook, and he's like, hey, do you want to call a play? Just point to one on my playbook and I'll call that for you. Like, literally every single play call he was calling was working. They have a huge problem that they didn't go for the record. I'm just like, you had a chance to kick a field goal and go for NFL history. I don't want to hear this sportsmanship disrespect. You're getting paid millions of dollars to play football. And it's like, I get there's some sportsmanship, like, you don't want to take them down, but you already have 70 points. You might as well go for 73. Like, disrespect and actual disrespect is if you take someone's girl and sleep with them. It's not scoring in a football game where you're getting paid millions of dollars. And then Sean Payton already left Russell Wilson in the whole game, where I think it was Xavier Howard after the game for the Dolphins was like, I think it was very disrespectful for Sean Payton to leave him in the entire game. It's like, that was just Sean Payton kind of being sick of it. Like, no, you're not coming out. You suck. I'm going to leave you in there. I'm miserable in this situation. Everything that's happening is an absolute nightmare. And the Dolphins took advantage of a absolute disaster of a franchise that just felt like it was teetering. I was like, the Broncos lost 2 home games. You lost to the Raiders, who look kind of bad now, looking back in retrospect. And then you lost to the Commanders, who also looked very bad at home to this Buffalo Bills team. And that was the team you blew a 21-3 at one point in that game.
Yeah.
And you blew the lead in the second half. And then you go to Miami. I was like, it's not going to build. It's not going to get better from here. And then this is like, how do you recover from getting 70 points dropped on your head? Like, this is an absolute demolition by the Dolphins. Like, I don't know if it says more about how good the Dolphins are without Jalen Waddle, their second best weapon on that team, or just how bad the Broncos are. It was like two situations culminating at both the wrong and the absolute right time for both teams. It's a disaster.